Viman, let me know when I can go live. I mean, when I can start off. Sure, 1 minute. Awesome. So, hi guys, welcome to this session on crypto valuation models. I'm going to be doing multiple sessions on this because there are different kinds of models that we can use. Now, to begin with, the first thing we've got to understand is there are 11 different types of crypto assets, as you can see in the list here. So, obviously, we cannot use the same model for all of them. So when we divide it, you can see that out of these 11, some are in red and some are in green. The ones in red are the ones for which I have not yet developed any model. The ones in green are the ones that I have developed for, and I'm going to talk to you guys about. So let's start with the first one, what we call as the ready money cryptos. Now, when we use the term ready money cryptos, we basically are talking about those cryptos that can be used to buy and sell products and services, or which can be quickly converted to cash. For example, Litecoin. Now here you'll notice I very specifically say Bitcoin I don't cover in this because I believe Bitcoin is being used as a store of value. Whether it should or shouldn't be is a different question. The white paper says it is supposed to be electronic cash. But the way the world looks at it is from the point of view of a store of value. And that is why I don't believe this formula will work for Bitcoin. This formula works for things like Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and so many others. So let me explain to you how it works. So in this, I use the model of velocity of money. To give you an example of what that means is whenever we look at any currency. So what is the job of a currency? What is it supposed to do? Can you guys give me an answer in the chat? That what is the main purpose for a currency? What do you guys think? A medium of exchange. Absolutely correct. That's the job of the currency, right? You are not supposed to lock up the currency in a drawer for 20 years and expect it to grow in value. I'll give you an example. When I was in college a really long time ago, petrol cost 10 rupees a liter. So in my motorbike, I could get a tank full for 100 rupees. But now suppose that many years ago, if I had kept the 100 rupees in a drawer and I take it out today, I won't be able to buy even 1 liter of petrol. What does it prove? That the value of that currency as against assets falls over a period of time because of inflation, the fall in the value of money. So the main job of a currency is to change hands. The faster it changes hands, the more valuable it becomes. So we can say the US dollar is the most valuable because it is used globally as a medium of exchange, whereas a much smaller currency like let's say the Nepalese rupee is used as a medium of exchange only in one country of Nepal. So the more it changes hands, the more valuable it becomes. That is a crux of the concept of velocity of money. Now, when we apply that formula for a Litecoin, we need to take into account the 24-hour volume in dollars. 24-hour volume means in the last 24 hours, how much worth of that currency has changed hands. And then we look at the circulating supply. Circulating supply means how many tokens are available in the general market for people to buy and sell. Now, if I go to a site like CoinMarketCap, I can easily get this data. So I can see that, okay, this is the volume. So I can just go here and paste it. So the volume in US dollars. And then I need to get the circulating supply, which again I can get from here. And I can go and paste it. And when I say calculate, this is how it's going to work. So as per my models, it should be worth about $47, whereas we can see Litecoin is currently about $50. So I could say it's a little overvalued, but first let me explain the formula to you. So in this formula, what we are doing is we are saying that the market cap of that particular crypto, we look at various parameters and formulae that we want to use. So this volume, we multiply into 8, into 10, or into 12. So what we mean by that is, if we are very bearish on a particular crypto, we feel it is not good, it should go down, then we take the volume and multiply it by 8. And that becomes the predicted market cap. If we are neutral on a crypto, we do volume into 10. And if we are bullish, we do volume into 12. Now, once we have the market cap, that's this number, we simply divide it by the circulating supply and it gives us the answer. So while 47 is like an average valuation, it could also be thought of that, okay, this is the current volume, but suppose we feel that over the next few hours or next few days, we expect the volume to go up a little bit. So we can say, okay, it could be about 10 to 20% higher, or it could be 10 to 20% lower. So then we can also generate three graphs based on if we are bearish, if we are neutral, or if we are bullish. So while an average value is 47, if you are somebody who's bullish, then you could say, okay, I expect the value to be between 45 and 67. If I am neutral, 37 to 56. And if I am bearish, then between 30 and 45. But in my experience, usually this value holds up. Now, as of right now, we are seeing Litecoin is at 50, whereas my model shows it at around 47. Now, we've got to realize, someone says my voice is very low. Are the others able to hear me clearly? Or is it low for everyone? Could you give me a quick okay if it's clear? Is my voice clear to all of you? Oh, it's clear. That's awesome. Great. So have you guys been able to understand this first valuation model? In this first valuation model, we are going on the concept of velocity, or how much has changed hands in the last 24 hours. This data is easily available to us. Then we are multiplying the volume by 8, by 10, and by 12, dividing it by the market circulating supply, and this gives us these three graphs. And then we can predict and plan whether it makes sense that at this current price of 50, what should we be doing? Now, in my personal opinion, I would, if I was holding Litecoin, I would hold it yet, because it's the valuation by my model is very close to the actual price today. Now, the reason I talk about Litecoin, I'll be very honest, it is one of my favorite cryptos. And for a very long time, I do use that as a medium of exchange also. Of course, after the taxation came in, I don't use it as a medium of exchange anymore. But personally, I think for the world, it is probably the best medium of exchange crypto that we have. Any questions? Give me a all clear. If this part is clear, then I'll go on to the next model. Okay, no questions? Perfect. So now let me go to the LTC is my favorite to Keshav. Awesome. So we share our appreciation for the LTC. Now let's look at the second one, which is what we call as privacy coins. So you know that cryptos are not 100%, are 100% anonymous, most of them. So that means all the transactions can be viewed on publicly available blockchain explorers. Now that is the reason hush coins or privacy coins came into the picture. So some of them are private by default, and some let the users decide if they want to activate the privacy function. And examples are XMR, which is Monero, or Zcash, which is ZEC. Now here my favorite happens to be Monero. So let's have a look at that. So again, I need the volume and circulating supply, because again, a privacy coin is also a currency. It's a medium of exchange. So obviously we need to use the same formula, but the numbers will change, and I'll show that to you. So let's go here and let's look at the circulating supply. So let's just copy this and paste it here. And now let's try to get the volume and let's paste it here. And we've entered the name and symbol. Let's calculate. So by my model, it should be about $71, whereas right now it's about $138. So obviously in that case, I would then consider that as of right now, it is extremely overvalued. Now, while 71 is my average, if we look at these curves, so if I was bearish, I would say it should be between 43 and 74. If I was neutral, it would be 54 to 92. And if I was bullish, it would be 65 to 111. So it depends upon what your perception is. But at 138, even the most bullish model shows about 111. So I would say, as of right now, Monero is extremely overvalued. Now, here, if you notice, the only difference is the multiplication numbers are changing. So we do a 10 for bearish, a 13 for neutral, and a 17 for bullish. The reason being, a privacy coin is an enhanced version of a ready money crypto. So while a Litecoin is a simple medium of exchange, because Monero gives you the added advantage of privacy, it deserves to be valued at a higher multiple when compared to its volume. But having said that, I think as of right now, Monero becomes extremely overvalued. Yeah, Yagnadeep, the screen is shared. Are you guys not able to see my screen? Can you see the 71 written here? Okay, great. So Yagnadeep, I think you're the only one who's not able to see that. So any questions on this? What is your favorite privacy coin? Would anyone like to share that? Mine happens to be Monero, definitely, irrespective of the valuation. I feel from a tech point of view, it's really solid. And any guesses? Who is supposed to be the creator of Monero? One of the creators, it is rumored. Any idea who it is? Zcash used to be, not anymore. Okay. No, I'm not a creator of that. It is actually supposed to be Satoshi Nakamoto. It's believed that he's one of the founders of Monero also. Yeah. So Abhishek, to answer your question, what we've got to do is to calculate the market value, because we are talking about medium of exchange coins. Their most important function is to change hands, the velocity formula. So because of that, we use the volume to calculate what the market cap should be. So that's actually a common approach which can be taken in a lot of scenarios, not just in terms of crypto. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions on this? Now let's look at a third model. Okay, for that I'm going to talk about the public blockchain natives. So what I mean by this is, when we look at the native of any blockchain, right? So when we talk about Ethereum, we talk about Solana, what is the function of the native crypto? It is to pay the gas fee. Now, I believe that the most important indicator of the success or failure of a public blockchain is, and I want your answer first, what is that metric? Like, what should we consider as the most important metric for the success or failure of a public blockchain? What do you guys think? Anyone? Network volume, okay, sure, that's one way of looking at it. Usage, sure. Well, personally, I believe that what works best is the total value locked, right? So what do I mean by total value locked? Vivan says market cap, okay. Now, what I mean by total value locked is when I consider all the tokens that are created on top of it. So obviously this kind of a thing will not apply to a blockchain like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, because they're only running one token. When we look at things like Ethereum, Solana, Tron, Cardano, Algorand, these kind of blockchains, which allow people to come and run their own projects, I believe that when we look at all the projects that are on it, and we look at their market caps and add it together, that's called total value locked. And that indicates how successful a particular blockchain is. So let me know if you can see my screen where you can see DeFi Llama written on it. Give me a quick yes if you can see DeFi Llama written here. Awesome. So now when we look at the different blockchains, so we know there are like how many tracked here? Okay, about 150 blockchains are tracked by DeFi Llama. Now out of that, if you look at the top, so we see that Ethereum, Tron, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Polygon. So this is the way in which the order is going. Now in my experience, this ratio of market cap to TVL, okay, in the last several years, I believe 3 is the ideal ratio. And for a very long time, I've seen Ethereum around 3. But right now, Ethereum has gone to about 5.23 and a Tron has crashed to about 1. And then you have a Binance Smart Chain, which is at 8.29, which is extreme overvaluation. So I'll show you how we apply the model. So what we do is, we take the total value locked of the blockchain. So in Ethereum's case, it is 29.47 billion. So I can go here and I can put that value, so 29.47 billion, and then I put the circulating supply, which I can get from CoinMarketCap, get the circulating supply. And then when I run this, so it gives me a valuation of $722. And as of right now, I can see Ethereum is about 1281. So I would say Ethereum is extremely overvalued. So here what we have done is we have taken the total value locked, we have taken the circulating supply, and then if we are bearish, we take TVL into 1 and divide it by the supply, TVL into 3 if we are neutral, and TVL into 4 if we are very bullish. So the logic that I follow, and again, because these are number driven, I have based these models on about 3 to 4 years of data. So I took daily volume or daily data from CoinMarketCap over a period of I think 3 to 4 years. And then based on that, I took some of the top cryptos and then I made a calculation of this. So I believe that if a particular blockchain, you are not very bullish on it, then the TVL and the market cap should be the same. That is why TVL into 1. If you are neutral, then TVL into 3. And if you're bullish, then TVL into 4. Now, if we go back, we can see that DeFi Llama also measures it on the same metric. So we can see that Ethereum is shot up and Tron is actually shot down. Any idea? I mean, what are you guys? Are you bullish or bearish on Tron? Would someone like to share that? What's your opinion on Tron? Okay, Abhishek is bullish, Keshav is bearish, Kiran is bullish. Okay, okay, Nikhil is also bullish. So I'm actually also here. I think I'd be with Keshav on this. I'm also quite bearish on it. I'll tell you the reasons. When we look at Tron, let me show you. Let me know once you can see my screen. It should show you 5.26 billion here. Let me know when you can see that. Give me a quick yes if you can see 5.26B written here. Yeah, awesome. So now when we look at Tron, let me tell you what kind of scares me, right? So when we look at the top projects running on it, you suddenly begin to realize that it is very few projects that are actually, okay, here now, something seems to be wrong with DeFi Llama. They're not showing me updated data. Okay. So, some of the projects seem missing, so I'm not able to show it to you. Maybe there's a problem at their end because they're showing 0 everywhere and they're showing $NAN. So obviously there is some error on their side. But later, if you do go through the Tron data, you'll realize that there are just 1 or 2 projects which control 90% of the TVL. And those projects are internal, part of the Tron ecosystem. So just cryptos, just land, and they are having it. So that kind of makes it very, very dicey to trust that platform. So what is important to me is if you look at this, the number of protocols running. So if I look at Ethereum and why we usually feel quite confident about it, not only does it have so many different projects, 586 protocols running on it, but when we look at the valuation of those, so we begin to realize that while, okay, Convex is big, but we see there are so many projects which are over a billion. So there are 4 or 5 of those. And then there are so many which are like 500 billion. So we realize that the TVL is spread across many different projects. It is not restricted to just a few. So that is also a very important criteria to consider. How did Dominica end up choosing Tron? Abhishek, that's a good question. But see, first of all, you've got to realize Dominica is a very tiny country. Had you even heard about it before this incident? I had not heard about it, I'll be honest. So sometimes they do it for the publicity. Like if you look at El Salvador, they are like the first in the world. Let me stop sharing my screen. Give me a second. Okay. So El Salvador was the first country to make Bitcoin legal tender. But today they did a survey recently where 70% of the people of the country have said they don't want their country doing Bitcoin. So Dominica may have done it. There may be other reasons. I don't know why they chose Tron. But see, Tron, I'm not saying the technology is bad, right? So maybe they did choose it for the tech or whatever other reason they had. But when it comes to as an investment, my way of looking at Tron is the TVL is too small and that is controlled by very few projects. So I would kind of stay away from it. How you came to the multipliers, I understand. Yes, so Keshav, like I said, is that I took about 3 to 4 years of data from CoinMarketCap. So I'll give you an example. So when we look at CoinMarketCap, they show us the historical data, right? So are you able to see this on my screen? No, I think I have to no, if it's my screen, it should say historical data for Ethereum. Can you give me a yes? Okay, awesome. So when we look at this data, we can select a data range, right? So this data range, I mean, you can go beyond last 365 days also. You can actually go to a few years. So I took about 3 to 4 years of data. So for different cryptos, data was available for different periods of time. So like for a Bitcoin, we had many years of data, Ether, again, little lesser. So like this, I took data for a lot of the top projects over the last several years. And then I did a lot of analysis of that in the long run, over a period of time, like for example, if you notice here, can you see that we have Ethereum data available for the last 7 years? Is that visible to you? Can you guys see this? Ethereum today, 1 year ago, 2 years ago? Yeah. So when I took this data for several years, that's how I came to these multipliers that in the long run, those were the numbers that were popping up. So for example, in Ethereum's case, I would have come to the conclusion that for the longest period of time, for Ethereum and maybe for other public blockchains similar to that, the golden ratio was coming around 3. And that is what I came to my conclusions on. Because I believe in the long run, because crypto is a very new sector, I think these are the formulae on which we can take good decisions. And again, like I've said, I've been using this model for about 1.5 years to 2 years, and it kind of continues to go in that particular ratios. So those are the bases on which I came to those multipliers. Any other questions? Thanks, Keshav. Do you guys have any other questions on this? So I've explained 3 different models to you. Now, next time, I'm going to do a session where I'm only going to talk about the application coins, security coins, and governance coins. Now, these are 3 very different kinds of cryptos, which we cannot do based on past data. So for that, I have developed a subjective model. So that's the reason I didn't want to cover it today. I'll cover those in a separate session because there we are not going to use past data. There we are going to use some subjective models. So what I call is the ROHAS model, where we are going to look at their revenue projections, organization, history, algorithm, and social community, and then try to come out with a valuation. Nikhil says, do you take into account the crypto cycle? That's a very good question. So one of the things that I do consider on a personal basis almost every day is something called the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Are you aware of that particular index, Nikhil? The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, yes. So I've noticed that that's a good way of kind of trying to predict. But again, I don't believe much in the crypto cycles because I believe crypto is too new for us to actually take these cycles too seriously. So no, I don't take that into account. And secondly, I'd also like to clarify, I'm not talking about these models from a very short-term perspective. So when I use a module like this, I'm not trying to predict, should I buy or sell this tomorrow or day after? I'm trying to say, okay, how about the next 3 months? And then for the next 3 months, I use these kind of things to guide me in my decisions. I'll be very honest, crypto is again too new for us to just go on this. So this is one of the tools that you can use to help yourself. I also look at a lot of the revenue models. So when we look at sites like Token Terminal, they give you a lot of this. I'll be discussing that in the next session on this. Any other questions? And Nikhil, I don't actually believe in holding on for dear life. I don't believe that's true for any investment in the world. I believe we should keep thinking and rethinking regularly whether we should hold on to it or not. But again, everyone has a different way of looking. So what works for me may not work for you. Any other questions? Is it all clear to all of you? So great. I've written a blog post on the 51 crypto metrics that everyone should be aware of. So definitely that is something you guys should read up if you have not already done. If you have joined my Token Economics WhatsApp group, I posted the link there recently. So that'll kind of help you guys to understand these crypto metrics. So there are about 51 crypto metrics that I feel all of us should really know about. Vivan says, why do you never disclose the amount of crypto that you lost? Yes, so Vivan, as you know that I had deleted my cryptos in 2010, 2011. The Bitcoin I had mined because I never thought it would be worth anything. Unfortunately, I don't want to discuss the actual numbers. It's a very painful part of the life which I'd rather forget about. Uh, Session on trading. No, Nikhil, I don't take sessions on trading. I know that there are some fake accounts in my name which take money and teach you how to do trading. Someone takes $4,000, someone takes 15,000 rupees. Those are all completely fake. I never take sessions on trading because I am not a crypto trader. So there are so many other traders. I'm sure they're very good at reading those graphs. I don't believe in that. I'm more of a fundamental analyst. So I actually get into the project and whether it makes sense. So crypto trading is not an area of expertise for me at all. Any other questions? So token economics is an area of great interest for me, and I'm writing something called the Token Economics Playbook. It should be out soon. I hope to get it out before the end of the year. I'll keep you guys posted on that also. So great. If you have any other questions, you can always feel free to ping me. And uh, okay, Vivan says that there's somebody by the name of Shreyash Pandey on Creator who does trading. Okay, great. So maybe Vivan, you can share his link here. People, if they want, they can do that. I'm not recommending trading. I'm just saying, as a matter of information, Vivan feels that Mr. Pandey's videos on that are good. So it's totally up to you. Like I said, I'm not a crypto trader, so I'm not the right guy to advise on that. So great. I'll see you guys next Friday at the same time. We'll do a session on the ROHS model. So before that, have a look at the 51 crypto metrics and then we'll do that session next time. So Vivan, you can share the link if you want. Achha, for the 51, just give me 1 second. I'll just share that. Yeah, I've posted that link here. So it's part of my blog on DeFi and token economics. So you can subscribe to that. I keep posting stuff there. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Friday. Bye bye.